Hello and welcome to the Sting of Time, a video series slash podcast where I, Leeloo, and my friend
Oskar.
watch The Scorpion King 52 times in a row. This is watch number 4. Uh, how's the energy?
Energy is very poor today. It's it's been a long, eventful day, which was impromptu followed by a surprise Scorpion King viewing. But
Was it a total surprise? I
no,
think it's
it
a
was not a total surprise. That's a bit disingenuous. It's rather it is the reality of having watched the Scorpion King one day earlier
yes.
than we usually do. But we are still here. I am still alive despite having something of a pressing headache, which was not did not become any better from watching Scorpion King for the fourth time. But I'm sure it can only improve from now on.
Yes. I think I I don't think I had really considered this viewing that much. Or I should say, last time we had planned that we were going to do this with a guest this time. Sort of loosely planned, I should say. And I had thought that that would be really good because felt a bit like I was going to be a bit down on the movie this time around, and having a fresh face watch it would be good.
You said while we watched it during this watching that, well, basically what you just said, but that we feel desperately in need of a fresh perspective
Yes.
on the movie because we already are starting to, while not necessarily be fatigued, maybe, we really are starting to get a good grasp on what each of us think about many aspects of the movie at this point.
I'm trying to think. I think the movie didn't necessarily get a really fair shake this time around. I was not. I wasn't there as well. I think you're worse for wear than me, but
I definitely think so.
but I spent the morning working. I recorded 7 pages of voiceover for a thing, and then I, did some slight cleaning. I went shopping, and then I put the place in order for people to show up and hang out. And then I had to cook and sort of snarf down my food while watching the Scorpion King. So a bit, I think,
a bit of a high velocity day.
Yes, and I think it's you need some mental preparation for the Scorpion King.
Yes,
I think, and this
absolutely
wasn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It was no good. It I would say it was a mistake.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think we probably should. Would have been better if we waited until Tuesday. I think instead of doing it today.
But we have plenty times left to wait until Tuesday, metaphorically.
Yes. And of course, in 52 viewings, one viewing is going to be the worst. If this is the worst, it probably isn't, but if it is the worst, then
no chance. This is the worst.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the worst so far.
That is true. I can definitely agree with that.
And with the movie, it was pretty hard to find things to like this time around.
Yeah, I remember I said, I think this is my favorite moment this time, but I can't remember what it was. It was rather early, I think.
I think you said it to some dumb shit.
Just some like someone getting punched or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I was completely out of it that entire movie.
Yeah, during the movie, I actually the part where he fights where they get to the Valley of the Dead and they're in the I was about to say the ocean, but the desert.
Yeah,
Uh, I totally blanked out and missed, I don't know, five
yeah,
minutes
yeah,
of the movie. Just didn't understand that they had already happened.
yeah. It almost feels like we watched the movie from like we've watched the movie, but the scenes were in a different order,
Hmm.
or something. Like somebody pranked us and gave us a scrambled cut of the movie, but it's not a prank; it's reality. I don't know why that had so much weight to it when it's like that, but yeah,
Yes.
it's a bit of a blur in general. This viewing, uh, I
One
do.
standout part, I should say, one sort of new factor for both of us, though I had mulled the thought over a bit more, but not that much actually, because we talked about it at a cafe uh,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
I brought up the fact that I had found out that there are two camels in the movie.
yeah. There are actually two camels,
Yeah.
or more than one.
So there's an old camel who's 14 and was a stable partner for the movie crew. And there's a young camel that's 4 years old. Well, a lot older now. Now it's 24 if it's alive. I don't know how old camels get. Uh, that hated Dwayne
Yeah,
with a
not
passion.
like Dwayne at all.
And I don't know if it actually comes through in the movie, but hey, I think you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
clearly see which camel it is.
yeah. I don't remember if I particularly mentioned it during the viewing, but we did talk a bit about can you tell when the camel is angry?
Hmm.
And I think I forgot to mention it because I was so headached. But there's a lot of scenes where the camel is like it has its like the reins or whatever in its mouth, and it kind of like how should we like has this gaping maw kind of thing going on,
Yeah.
and it's going like "Wah,
Yeah, there's a
wah,"
lot of like upper lip action, like
exactly.
ah.
And I and I kept thinking like is this the camel just it just fucking hates Dwayne Johnson, wants Dwayne Johnson to fall off his camel or something like that. And I feel like you could definitely see it in some scenes, like because we have, especially when you compare it to the wholesome camel in the sorceress scene
Yeah.
and so on, and then you compare it to this camel when Dwayne is getting ready to ride, and it really looks displeased in a
Yes.
very like animalistic way.
I think
So
when they're leaving Gomorrah after he's kidnapped the sorceress, which the
yeah,
movie, the subtitles keep calling her Cassandra, and and I she the actress, I forget her name. She also refers to herself as Cassandra or Cassandra, sorry, in back
yeah,
scene stuff, behind the scenes. Sorry, back scene. What the fuck?
I think when Cassandra first sees Matthias, she's interested in this guy. He's strong, he's sexy.
But the movie never ever calls her Cassandra. I don't
no.
even think the credits call her Cassandra.
But maybe you were gonna say, but you were theorizing, right, that this could have something to do with the seldomly spoke of alleged sequels to Scorpion
Yes,
King that
but that
exist.
was before I watched the behind the scenes footage where she talks about her as Cassandra,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that
I
would
get it.
predate any Scorpion King franchise, I think.
So I guess the mystery runs deeper.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
Well, either way, I should get like when he's grabbed the sorceress and they're leaving Gomorrah, and he takes the camel back and they're riding. The camel looks hella displeased.
Yeah.
It's walking like it doesn't wanna have something on its back. And I can totally relate. I was relating pretty hard with the camel
Yeah.
in general. It's
Same.
always there, but today was more.
But it is still a boon when we get to see the nice camel smile
Yes.
face scene. So always great.
And I think overall, even though we were sort of talking shit about the movie through the camel, I think it was really great to have that. That's a new thing. You know, look, which camel is it?
Exactly.
That sort of thing is good. And I actually have two things which I had learned about the movie that I haven't told you about. That it doesn't really impact. It's not like a thing you could scout for that much. But we've talked a lot about Chest Man when we watched the movie.
Fantastic Chest Man.
Yes, I don't think he's ever showed up in the podcast.
No, I don't think so. We've talked about him a lot, but we haven't mentioned him here yet. So I guess this is like his first appearance.
Exactly.
In this thing of time.
And he's a minor character. He has several scenes. He has a lot of spoken dialogue. So, you know, about as much as Thorak, is that his name?
Yeah, Thorak, like the mercenary, like the leader of the guard.
Yes.
With the axe.
They're sort of yeah, they're sort of similar in terms of stature, it seems.
Yeah.
So Chest Man, unsure what his name is, but he's Chest Man, mostly because of his giant hairy chest. And we've also talked in the past when we watched the movie, but not on the podcast, about a guard in the end of the movie who checks on Armpit's prostitute wagon.
Yeah.
And we talked about him, and he's like, "Oh, is that an actor, or is that like a friend of The Rock?" Or
and I said that he looks just like that guy in that animated DreamWorks Pixar.
Oh yeah, he looks like what's the movie called?
Whatever his name is, you know who I mean.
Yeah.
You pull up a picture of him and then.
But that guy is voiced by The Rock, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but that was one of the connections we were considering.
But the thing I learned is that Chest Man has played Quan Chi in live-action Mortal Kombat. Conquest, it might be called.
Yeah,
something
a bit
like
of Quan Chi energy about him.
Yeah. So that's something he has done, and I think I'm obviously gonna put it in the podcast, so I'm gonna be able to see some of it.
They should thank me. Without goodness, without light, life can be so much more interesting and so much shorter.
But I looked it up for some reason, and he's been Quan Chi, and not The Rock's friend. I should tell people what their names are, but I don't know what the fuck their names are, so I'll just put it on screen or something. Not The Rock's guard friend is E.Honda from the Street Fighter, the movie.
Oh.
So these two guys are both fighting game characters.
That's really interesting, actually, because when did the Street Fighter movie come out? Is that like 95 or
something like that? I could look it up if you want to know.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, basically, but so I barely remember what E.Honda looks like in the movie. But I feel like he would be pretty young, I guess. But I don't know. So hard to tell exactly how old that guy is.
It's from 94.
Ah.
But I do think Honda has a bit of a young atmosphere to him. It's kind of weird that Honda is played by like a Samoan guy.
Exactly.
But
I mean, definitely not the most weird thing about that.
No, definitely not.
All humanity shall bow to me.
I found that pretty funny, especially that, uh, you know, in reality, it's probably not weird at all that, you know, you could probably pick any random guard or something, and then you could say, I can't believe guard A and guard C
Yeah,
have
exactly.
both been in cheesy fighting or like young Hercules type shit, you know? That's probably par for the course. But, you know, I found it interesting.
Yeah. Maybe we should see. We should be on the lookout for any possible tangible fighting game connection in Scorpion King. Maybe there's a Scorpion King fighting game floating around out there, like some Deadliest Warrior.
Well, there is a video game that we will be playing for some episode, I think.
Absolutely.
Though this is not the one. But it's probably going to illuminate a bunch about the Acadian brothers, I assume, since it's I know the game is a prequel. So
we did. I remember like early on in the movie, just around the part where we had stopped complaining about watching Scorpion King for the fourth time, was around the part when his brothers get peppered with arrows in the camp by Memnon's ambushing forces, and we noticed how the third brother or not brother who just dies on the spot there. It seemed like his Dwayne's brother. Keep forgetting his name.
Jessup, I think.
Yeah, Jessup. He actually gets shot by a lot of arrows himself. We had a bit of a debate because I was in some kind of fever delirium, so I didn't really pay that much attention. But you said that it's strange how he gets shot by so many arrows and still he survives, or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it because it's so weird that there's a third Acadian, and
Yeah.
they're basically, it's like screen time is like 5 seconds in total, and he dies so unceremoniously as well.
Yeah.
And Dwayne doesn't even seem to fucking care.
Especially considering, like, now that we've seen the movie quite a few times, it's something that starts to sink in a bit for me is that isn't there a bit of an air of implication that there are no other Acadians except for these three?
Yes.
Basically, like they have been genocided. It's only they're the only ones left. So if there's just the three of them, and they're having like this jolly adventure with the not Vikings in the beginning and so on, but it's just the three of them, and the third guy just dies, and it's like Dwayne doesn't even like give him barely a cursory glance.
Yeah.
When he just immediately goes into, I have to invade this tent now with my knife. I have to kill the sorcerer or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it is kind of interesting, I think, as well, when you think about it, even with his brother, because when he gets forked, and he's doing the whole, like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna, you know, that thing, they bring in his brother Jessup, and he gets killed in front of him, and he does even more of that. And it's a sort of an emotional moment, I guess, but is it implied, I guess, that when he has a mission, because at that point he's sort of abandoned the mission because he chose to not kill the sorceress, because he doesn't give a shit about his brother or slash brothers, if they're all brothers, when he assume, because I assume he thinks they die when they get peppered with arrows.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to assume it. I mean, the only logical explanation is that he's like, I have no time to grieve. I must finish the mission for our Acadian honor, or whatever. But yeah, it's really weird. Feels really offbeat, or whatever. It actually reminds me a bit how another thing we talked about was how we feel that some parts of the movie feels like it's like part like a holdover from maybe an older script or something.
Yeah.
Of the movie, like a different version of it, specifically like well, the entirety of the intro sequence feels like in tone to be part of a completely different movie, but also mainly the whole scene with Memnon getting the arrow, the scorpion poison blood arrow ready, giving it to Forak, and being like, use this arrow to kill him with scorpion stuff.
I think he's like deliver my message or
Yeah,
this message to him or something.
exactly. So, and how it's so weird, both like thematically how this is supposed like. Look, there's a scorpion in this movie because it's called the Scorpion King. Get it? Haha.
Yeah, there's like this weird stone tablet that Memnon has as well that looks really ancient, which has a scorpion on it.
Yeah.
It's like, did he
Well,
break that off from somewhere and go, I'm the Scorpion King?
what's the deal with the scorpion? and so on. But I also might have said this before, maybe not on the podcast, but while watching. But how it's so strange that it's like an arrowhead too. Then like it gives Forak an arrow to kill Dwayne with, and like the arrow, it has its own little like arrow holster thing, like the protection for the arrowhead. And then when Forak stabs Dwayne with this, it's like, does Forak even have a bow? Does he know what a bow is? Like
No,
maybe
he's Axeman.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Memnon gave him the arrow. It's like, kill Dwayne with this, and he doesn't know what an arrow is, so he thinks it's like weird knife or something. So it's like,
it's so inconsequential as well.
Yeah,
it gets the venom gets cleared up in half a second. I mean, the sorceress she says that it'll be part of his body forever or something, which is completely nonsense. And it's just, gotta be a scorpion in there somewhere. Which is also funny because, in the Mummy 2, which we haven't seen for a long time, I think the whole deal there is that he makes a deal with Anubis and he gets an Anubis army. I think that's the plot. What the fuck does that have to do with scorpions?
Yeah, it really feels like like usually with this kind of like I'm not gonna say tie-in because it's not tie-in,
Yeah.
but like spin-off or whatever. Usually it's with these kinds of things when you have to build on something that has been already established in the connected franchise or connected universe. Small things usually become really important. Like it's with stuff like there's a lot of this kind of thing in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but also stuff like Star Wars and the Star Wars prequels, and you have to turn. Oh, what's the Clone Wars? It's this big thing now. It's just a throwaway line in the original movies and that sort of thing. But it feels like in this, they just have the word like Scorpion. And it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? He's the Scorpion King because in the Mummy 2 he's a scorpion. So now it's gonna be, I don't know, put a scorpion on a tablet or whatever. But
yeah, but he's not even the Scorpion King. He kills the Scorpion King.
I mean
so
it's
just fucking dumb.
Why was he the Scorpion King then? What does the Scorpion have to do with anything? And especially because the scorpion is such a literal thing in the Mummy 2, because the guy's a literal scorpion. And
he might eat a scorpion or something. I have like a vague memory, a recollection of him eating a scorpion. Either way, I'm gonna move us on from this because before we get to our emotional states, we have, of course, another round of everyone's favorite game.
Dubious Dwayne details.
The dubious Dwayne details. Welcome to a game show within a podcast. I'm your host, and with us we have Oskar, hey, who's gonna guess on which of these Dwayne-related facts are true and which are false. I think your score so far is two negatives in the first, so you got no score there, and then you did a 50-50 split last time. So you can do better or worse, I guess. I was about to say you can only do better, but that's not true.
If you say so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. here's your two first facts. Which one of these is false? One of these is true.
All right.
In 2010, Dwayne voiced a transformer for the animated series called Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is the head of Autobot Intelligence. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2. These are all Dwayne movie, TV show related, I should add. Sort of a theme this time. For 2004's Walking Tall, Dwayne did a Jackass boot camp with co-star Johnny Knoxville for the DVD's extra features. Dwayne later found out on a talk show that there was no studio plan for this at all, and it was all a gag made up by Johnny Knoxville.
That's difficult. I'm just trying to think, like, which one of these did you just make? I feel like both seem so plausible. I could definitely I could believe both. They are definitely something I could see in our reality.
You know, Dwayne being such a big fan of the CIA and FBI, it's good that he could voice the head of intelligence for.
Okay, it's definitely the other one. It's definitely the other one.
What? That's false.
Yeah, I think that one's false. I think it's the Johnny Knoxville.
That is true. Or is false? Which one is you saying is false?
I'm saying that the. Well, now you made me change my mind again. Okay. I'm just gonna decide. I think the Johnny Knoxville one is true.
It's false. I made it up.
God damn it.
He voiced the character Cliff Jumper in 2010. That is the head of Autobot Intelligence.
Decepticons.
I think I got a bit stumped because you probably said it, but when you about the Transformers thing, because it's Transformers from 2010, but I just kept imagining like the 80s Transformers. I'm like, it's The Rock, like 2 years old then. Why would he voice etc. Because I'm barely aware of other Transformers existing.
Okay, you can still end up with the same score as last time. So
it's not over yet.
Yes. The second set of facts here. For the 6th installment of the Fast and Furious series, titled Furious 6, Dwayne and Vin Diesel reportedly arm wrestled for top billing after a friendly argument broke out during filming. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2. During shooting of the scene where Hercules breaks free of his chains in the 2014 movie Hercules Unchained, Dwayne stated that he blacked out after every take because he asked the prop department to lock him in with real steel chains that he couldn't break so that his performance would be more authentic.
I've seen that movie actually a long time ago, and I don't remember a single moving image from it.
So either he arm wrestled Vin Diesel for top billing, or he blacked out a bunch filming Hercules Unchained.
I'm gonna go with, I'll speed it up a bit, but I'm gonna go with the first one. The Vin Diesel arm wrestle thing is true.
And that's wrong. I made it up.
I think you make everything up.
No.
This is rigged.
I'm just that good at making up Dwayne facts. He blacked out like 8 times.
How can you black out every time? It's like
they put real chains on him and he struggled against them and blacked out, I guess. He said he thought it was great that he blacked out.
Oh, tell me! Who are you? Hercules!
But how often did it, how long time was there between the takes?
I don't know. I think it said he did 8 takes or something and he blacked out for everyone. It seems very odd that they would allow him to do that, but
yeah, it seems so unfeasible. And it's like, especially with like when you make your movies and film scenes and stuff, you want to get as much done as quickly as possible. And it's like he just blacks out every take. Like, wouldn't he just fucking die eventually?
Well, you say that's unfeasible, but I think it's even more unfeasible to imagine a scenario where Vin Diesel gives up top billing for anything in the Fast and the Furious movies.
I don't know anything about Vin Diesel. I just know he's bald or what. That the only top billing I think of when I hear Vin Diesel is the top of his bald head.
Yes. Well, with that out of the way, how's your emotional state, and what was your favorite part of the movie this time?
My emotional state is terrible, and I forgot my favorite part.
Maybe terrible and forgetful?
Is delirious a emotional state?
Sure, you can have it.
That's like a physical state.
You can have, for this time around, you can have one emotional and one physical if you want to.
Okay, my emotional state is I'm not angry, but I'm I don't know how to call it. I'm unwell. no. I'm not okay. Again, I guess. I think I've already had. I'm not
Nah,
okay.
that was mine.
Okay, then it's my turn to be not okay.
Yes.
And my physical state is somewhat delirious, because I still feel like it's 2 hours ago, even though it's 2 hours since then.
Yes, give me your favorite part of the movie.
All right. Since I can't remember my favorite part, I will retroactively say that my favorite part of the movie this time around was probably when it's this actually. Many times I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast, but we mention it every time we watch it. But the scene when the sorceress looks the kid in the eye in the village, and she has visions about everyone in the village dying, and the kid just looks at her like she's
I think we both like belly laughed when it cuts to the dead kid, the dead version of the kid.
It's like the combination of the smiling kid, the smiling sorceress, and then like the dead kid and the distraught sorceress, and and the imagery of her just making this continuous face at the kid, and the kid's like, "Wow, what's your problem?"
Yeah, what the fuck?
What did I do? Like that sort of thing. That's my favorite part this time around.
I think that's great. I probably would have picked that one as well if I hadn't, locked in very early. I didn't mention this when we watched the movie, but my emotional state. I think I feel a bit ravaged. I feel spent. I feel like Scorpion King.
Attack.
Yeah, Scorpion King, the movie, is a swarm of locusts that has entered my system and pillaged all my crops and left me starved.
Biblical event.
Yes. Like Sodom and Gomorrah. But
Gomorrah is in the movie.
Yes. That's how I'm feeling, ravaged and pillaged. And my favorite part of the movie is very early, where the king is holding court. I forget what his name is. He's holding court, and everyone is doubting that they could do anything about Memnon. But he says, "Will you fight with us?" And this guy, who's in the movie, he has 2 lines. And every time I see him, I just don't like the delivery is so weird. His lines are
I know who you mean.
Yeah, his lines are, with his sorcerer at his side, no mortal can defeat Memnon. But he says it like,
With his sorcerer's shine, no mortal can defeat Memnon.
and then the camera just pans away from him, and it's
And he's
weird.
never seen again.
Yeah, he's never seen again, and it's so weird.
No mortal can defeat Memnon.
You know, when you think about it, isn't Dwayne technically an immortal since he's around in the Mummy 2? And he's the one who defeated Memnon, so...
I don't think, well, yeah, but that's if you consider him an immortal already.
Maybe he became an immortal when he got Scorpion stabbed.
Maybe.
Worth thinking about.
Well, yes, absolutely. Great. We should do another podcast called Scorpion King Theories.
That one's gonna keep me up at night.
With that, I think we're done. I don't think we have it in us for more.
No, I think...
Miraculously, we made it through this.
Yes, against all odds, and hopefully we will be in better shape for next time.
Replenished and renewed. Possibly with a guest.
Possibly.
Catch all you viewers and listeners, all 2 of you, next time. Bye.